Welcome to the third in this series of revision videos. In this one, I'm going to be talking to you about the representation of masculinity. Hopefully you've already listened to the podcast on the representation of femininity. If not, go to Moodle or follow the links on Twitter in order to track that down. Now, starting point for your discussion of the representation of masculinity should be the prevailing stereotypes. From this, you can then measure the three case studies that we're going to look at, how much they conform to that stereotype, how much they challenge it. Now, traditionally, men are still represented as powerful, strong, physical, active, all of those kind of qualities. Now, a text that we've looked at that really reinforces those stereotypes was the JAGERMEISTER It Runs Deep commercial from 2014. You'll remember this is the one with a bunch of guys get in the van and trawl their way across grueling wilderness so that finally they can plunge into the freezing waters in order to surf. We see lots of extreme long shots of the men tiny against the elements, and it all enforces this view of, constructs this view of masculinity, that men are brave, that men like to look at nature as something to challenge and to tame, men are active, men pride themselves on the spirit of adventure and ruggedness and being physically strong. At the same time, men define themselves by the bonds of friendships with other men, and what better ways in which to sort of consolidate those bonds than through arduous physical exercise, the movement towards the surfing itself, and then finally they want to assert those bonds of friendship when they drink the Jägermeister together. So we see those group shots at the end of the men congratulating themselves. It's a very traditional representation of men as strong, physically tough, looking nature in the eye and offering outside for a scrap basically. Next text from there, it's always good to take a text that both conforms and challenges as a bridge. Now, if we look at the Men's Health front cover that we looked at from January 2015, here's a text that in many ways conformed to this view of masculinity. The mode of address is full of powerful imperatives, reinforce your heart. There was the dirty truth about the something or other, I can't remember what. Sorry about that momentary lapse. The mode of address was very powerful. The front cover, the image on the front cover, the medium long shot of the Hollywood actor Joel Edgerton, again presented him as kind of dressed down, casual but tough, and physically strong in the way that he's presented. This bold, the gaze was direct, the facial expression was typically dour and manly. But at the same time, here's a text that asks men, that promotes ideas such as detoxing, but in order to do that, say detox like a real man. So ideas that in the past, taking care of your appearance, your health, may have been seen as suspect, as rather feminine traits, these were presented in a very masculine way in order not to alienate the traditional, the alpha males that this magazine was targeting. So that text provides a nice bridge onto text number 3. Now, text number 3 was the SAINSBURY'S Bare Necessity ad, here from 2014. Here you'll remember the small boy begins by going into dad's bedroom, mum and dad's bedroom, jumping on the bed, waking dad up, and then they spend a day together. Dad makes him breakfast, they go on the train where they both read their respective publications, they have a great day at the seaside where they cook a little barbecue on the beach, still doing manly things like barbecuing. But it's all about showing a more sensitive side to masculinity. By the end, Dad is in the kitchen again, cooking up a nice apple crumble. Shows that these traditional traits have been joined by others that now men should not just pride themselves on their physical attributes, but on their power as fathers, and their emotional well-being as well as their physical strength. So there were 3 texts that we looked at, and if you tackle those in that particular order, it should be a nice structured way in order to move through this particular question. Okay, hope you found that useful. See you again soon.